Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Margot Alvarez, a 7-time CrossFit Games athlete, NASM certified personal trainer, and performance and mindset coach with over 16 years of experience as a personal and group trainer. Margot helps busy professionals and athletes unlock their physical and mental potential to lose fat, build real-world strength, gain confidence, and create sustainable, healthy lifestyles. Her coaching combines mobility, functional strength, high-intensity conditioning, and mindset work tailored to individual goals. Margot, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Going to be a great episode, a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background, though. So I touched on it a little bit, but I'd love it if you could walk us through, before what you're doing now, coaching, can you walk us through what were you doing previously and what was really your inspiration to get into this space?
For sure. I've always been really active. I've had a lot of kind of activities or sports underneath my belt. I grew up doing taekwondo, ballet, a little bit of gymnastics, golf, horseback riding. And so activity was always very important to me, for myself and my sisters. And as I grew and evolved, I learned that it became a very big outlet for myself. My sister passed away in 2008. And so through her passing, I found therapy, or I found an outlet through exercise and fitness, specifically running. And so it was a great place for me to start. From there, I became a personal trainer. I loved how I was able to help people through fitness. I think it was a way for me to help others, but also maybe find a way to help themselves. From that, I turned into the competitive realm of CrossFit, did that for many, many years, competed at the high level. From there, I also evolved as a coach within the CrossFit space and other personal training, remote coaching clients. And I found that not only movement, but mindset is a big impact of that. People don't think mindset's very, very important, but it is a big base. It is the foundation. It is the base, that concrete foundation that you need to essentially build upon. And so I started structuring a lot of my stuff in education and training around mindset and movement. Did a handful of other things too, like American Ninja Warrior, Titan Games. And so taking a little bit of TV expertise in that realm, blending with my competition, but also applying that to people and how they can work that with their lifestyles, become kind of the base importance of what I think is a focal point in our lives of what we do for ourselves.
Love that. Quite the background. A little bit of everything, right? It sounds like you did every single sport possible as a child.
Yeah.
So I think that leads us perfectly into today. Can you walk us through, what does working with Margot look like? Who are you working with? Everything like that.
Yeah, definitely. So I have in-person clients and remote clients. I work a lot with more remote clients based on their schedule and their needs. The focus is curated to what they need and what they want. We obviously touch base on a handful of things: movement, mindset, stress, life, nutrition, but we always do some sort of assessment, kind of figure out what they have, what time allotments do they have, what constraints they might have, family, kids, travel, and I work around their needs. Weekly check-ins are a must. I feel like that keeps accountability for them, but also making sure I can check in with them. If I'm working on the more in-person basis, depending on how many times we're working in person, that could be once a week, twice a week, I'm making sure that I'm checking in with their needs. I think a lot of people see it as just one facet, like just the fitness, but there's a lot of layers that go into that. And so that's where the remote coaching clients, we have those weekly check-ins, in-person sessions, we have those accountability check-ins as well. I think a lot of people think it's, like I said, it's one-sided, but there's a lot of pieces to the pie. So checking in with that is very important, and making sure we're staying in tune, being aware of travel, being aware of other aspects that might be coming into it. Obviously, holidays, nutrition might be a little off, but that's finding that balance and that grace for yourself. So that's something that I'm very diligent with my clients.
It's tough for people to give themselves that grace sometimes.
Yes.
So I'm sure that's a big part of your role, stepping in and say, hey, it's okay. Because that's
Yes.
important.
Exactly. And that's something we work on mindset. People don't realize 90% of it is mindset, is your mental attitude. If you have negative self-talk, or you're putting yourself in a position where you can't, or feel like you can't do something, you're telling yourself that, so your body's going to follow.
The mind leads. That is
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
Do you find yourself, Margot, working with a certain type of person a lot, or are you working with, young, old, middle-aged, every kind of just person out there?
Yeah, I would say clientele is probably like 30 to 50-year-old individuals that are busy professionals. They have a workload, they have other things on their plate, they have family, they have travel, they have other commitments. And so being very diligent with their time is very important. So working with that clientele is more specific. Typically, like I said, busy professionals that have a lot going on. And, they are on a set schedule. They have an hour to work out, they have 30 minutes to work out, they have 90 minutes, whatever it might be. So working with those individuals, they've already been in the health and fitness space. Maybe they're trying to get back into the health routine. They're trying to get back into an established routine for themselves. They've taken a break off. Maybe it was injury, limitation, whatever it might be. So they've had some experience, but they need some guidance. They want some accountability. Those are typically clients that I've worked with. I've worked on a broad spectrum. I've taught, 3 to 5 year olds to all the way people in their 70s. So I have a lot of experience. And I think that's great. But finding people that see the value in themselves is important, but also knowing that they need a coach to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an age range where life kind of hits you and you're
Yes.
like, man, I'm not 20 anymore. My joints are getting a little stiff. Things don't work the
Yeah.
way they used to. I should
Can't
probably
just
take my
sleep
health more
4 hours
seriously.
and get up out of bed.
That makes a lot of sense. I am curious. You've worked with everybody. Do you, and this may be hard, but do you have a personal favorite age range? You've worked with young kids, older, middle age, just your personal preference. Do you have like an age range that you prefer to work with that's maybe the most fun?
That's a great question. I would say I have two. I would say young teenagers getting into sports, looking to improve their performance or improve their body to be able to perform at that sport. And then on the opposite spectrum, maybe someone in their 40s and 50s or 60s that has a lot of repetitions per se underneath their belt. And they're looking for some refinement. They're looking for some feedback. They're looking for someone that maybe has had a different experience that they can take or pull from and utilize for their situation. So I would say those
Mhm.
are kind of the two groups.
Absolutely. So I'd love to ask about the mindset piece, right? Because as you said, as we talked about, the mind leads. So how do you incorporate that into your coaching, right? I know you have the weekly one-on-one check-ins. Are they longer check-ins so you guys kind of have the time to talk about stuff like that, or kind of walk us through that process?
Yeah, it's a great question because I think mindset's hard to measure, right? Just like flexibility is hard to measure. A lot of that comes down to we do some like introspectrum work where I give them some tools like mindset tasks or journal work where it's self-reflective questions. What is something you're celebrating? What is something you're struggling with? What is something that's an area of improvement? So giving them specific questions that are kind of open-ended that they can work through, then they will do that on their own. And then when we check in, we'll talk about that. And it could be focused on the training. Maybe it's focused on nutrition. Maybe it has nothing to do with health and fitness. Maybe it's their relationships with their family. Maybe they're dealing through a personal relationship with their family member or they're going through a situation at work. And so I think a lot of people don't realize the interconnectiveness that you have from work or stress or family into that. I find that fitness can be an outlet. And so I talk to my clients about, what is it you're working through? What are you struggling with? Have you done any journal work? Did you miss it this week? You did. Okay. Well, now that's an assessment piece that maybe we spend a little more time this week. Or if you don't want to talk about it or write about it, maybe we discuss about that. Maybe we chat about it. Maybe we text about it. So giving them multiple options to express or get their feelings out, I think is very important.
Hmm.
I think we're in a time now where it's a little more accepted to be open about the struggles you face, whereas before maybe it was brushed under the rug. Like, no, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. Everything's good. I think now people are a little more open to having discussions where, hey, I'm not doing so good mentally. Maybe I'm struggling with anxiety or depression. Let's talk about it. And the hardest part is to talk about it, but you will feel better. Going for a walk and saying, hey, maybe we don't do any high intensity day or conditioning. Maybe we focus on more of a yoga or a stretch or a flow where it's going to allow you to move. You'll feel better. I promise you. But now there's no pressure to like, hey, I have to do a certain amount of sets or reps in my workout.
Hmm. Especially between the relationship of like a coach and a student, player, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
right? That's kind of like a sacred space. And
Hmm.
some people, maybe they don't want to talk about it with their spouse or a friend, but the coach is on a different level. You're not going to judge them like a spouse might,
Yeah.
right? So I just love that relationship and focusing more on the mindset and the person as a whole
Hmm.
rather than just the fitness part. Very, very important.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We can be complicated individuals. We're humans. There's a lot of layers that go into who we are, but also those layers are interconnected. It's like puzzle pieces that fit together, right? They're not just like rip them apart. There's connections that are happening. And so understanding and knowing that you can talk about them without any judgment and express them. You're not holding on to that, you're letting it go. And then I think people are like, oh, I actually feel better. Again, it's hard to measure that, right?
Yeah. And we're treating the whole person. That's what we need. I love it.
Exactly.
Look into the back end of the business for a second. How are your clients currently finding you to work with you?
So it's either through my website, through blogs that I post and or social media. I've done a lot of content on social media to just give free information out there, whether it's workouts or educational pieces, how-to series, anything that's going to hopefully elevate what they have or give something to them. And that's kind of been the main funnel. Then from there, we talk, we'll have conversations, we'll have maybe an intro session, or we'll just connect, or I'll get a referral from other clients, say, hey, I worked with her. She was awesome, recommend working with her. So I've had some friends and connections come that route. I think it's really important to obviously reach as many people as you can. as you know, I don't know if you know, but fitness is a very saturated industry.
Hmm.
The breadth and depth of it is very, I would say, very high and very large. And so it can be hard to obviously have your voice stand out, but also make sure that your voice has value, your voice has merit, and that you're not just some individual, some spewing out there. I think it's really important to build that trust. And if you are only working online, you're connecting in online versus in person, that trust can take some time to build.
You took my next question right out of my mouth was how do you stand out in the saturated world that is fitness coaches, right?
Yeah.
Post-COVID, seems like anyone who lost 15 pounds, and I appreciate their heart, but they became a coach and a trainer and a weight loss specialist. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
think the one thing that would boil it down is, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things to it, but for me, it's authenticity, right? Like tip of the spear is being authentic and being genuine. If you are honest with yourself and who you are, people will see that. Even in a 2D world like social media or online, if you are honest with who you are and what you genuinely care about, they will see that. I
mm,
remember a long time ago when I was becoming a coach and getting within the process and coaching and traveling around the world, you and this and some people may not agree with this, but it's hard to teach people to care. You either care and you either give a crap or you don't. If you don't genuinely give a crap, you can put a facade, you can fake it, but at some point that wall will eventually be exposed. And for me, it's like I've always cared. And I think one that's rooted in, not feeling or not being able to feel like I can save my sister. I couldn't save her, even though I didn't have any control of that for me wanting to help and try to save her, I couldn't save her, so I want to help and save other people. I know it seems kind of drastic, but like that saving someone is maybe them losing 15 pounds so they can pick up their grandkids, so then they have a purpose in their life, so they don't just waste away in a home health care or a home
mm,
like a home facility. And I think for me, it's like I think authenticity is that biggest pillar. So if you're genuine and you care and you're genuinely who you are, and I love helping people and I love coaching, that for me, I think is something how I stand out. I still have to try very hard. I still have to, I don't want to sell TNA. I want to sell education. I want to sell information and I want to sell what can I give to you that you can take for yourself and hopefully help yourself or your family. And then maybe you become a coach for your family and friends. And then maybe you're able to change their trajectory of their path. So
mm,
authenticity and being genuine and actually caring, I think is very important.
In a world of AI slop and just social media, just whatever you want to call it, human connection is going to
Yes,
be that golden piece that really sets people apart.
I
So
agree.
I
100%
couldn't
agree.
agree more there.
Yeah.
I am curious, CrossFit Games, Titan Games, like publicized right on TV. Do you get to use any of that content for your own social media purposes?
Yeah, like the photos and clips, yeah, I can share them. Obviously, like there's certain things like, NBC owns and stuff like that in terms of the right, but that had like a time frame. We weren't able to do like certain things afterwards, but it's again like you're on that for that certain amount of time. I did American Ninja Warrior as well. So like knowing and kind of seeing behind the curtain of how like TV works. Obviously, it's a competition. They want to tell a story, so I understand that. But also having the opportunity to share my story was important. So I can still share content. I still have some photos that I'll share and like kind of put out there obviously with CrossFit, like they own like the rights of that, but I can share photos and stuff like that and videos and clips. I mean, I'm the one competing, I'm the one out there, myself and other competitors, right? So
Good, good. If I can ask, which one was your favorite and why?
great question. I would say, I mean, the CrossFit Games has my heart because I poured so much into that. I was a CrossFit Kool-Aid drinking girl, like, woo, a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I love that so much. And it was a big part of my life. I think that was something that allowed me to grow physically, mentally, emotionally. I made amazing connections with people around the world. So I think it's probably my number one. I think maybe parallel to that was the Titan Games because the Titan Games was something different. It also allowed, The Rock was very specific to wanting to share people's stories, but also share their struggles and share what they overcame. I became really good friends with a lot of the competitors on there. We still keep in touch. We have like a group chat that will still throw in messages from time to time. But I think that was special because there's people from all around the world with different backgrounds, different stories, different hardships that we had to go through. And we bonded in a place where obviously we're competitors, we want to win. But The Rock gave us a platform to be able to showcase and highlight. And I had a conversation with him kind of as the season was wrapping. And for him, it was really incredible to see the viewership, about 50% men to women, where typically in a show like that, it's heavy on the men's side in terms of viewership. And so when we had conversations, it was incredible to see that viewership be about 50% for women and females. And for me, it's like I want to inspire, obviously I want to inspire men and women, but to inspire the younger generation, specifically young females, to have
Hmm.
the ability to feel comfortable in their own skin, but also have them say, I can be strong, I can be powerful, I can do this too. Like it gives me goosebumps because I'm like, I didn't think there was some of that growing up, right? But there wasn't much of it. Whereas now there's a little bit more of a base to that. I really wanted to be that. So to hear messages from people that I didn't know halfway around the world, like, my daughter wants to like go like to the gym and she wants to work out. I'm like, man, that's really cool to be able to have an impact. And so I think was able to reach a little bit more people with the Titan Games, and I think that's why I had a little different feel, a little different reason why
Mm,
I top.
that's got to be a special feeling.
It
Not a
is.
lot of people get that, so I'm jealous
I'm
a
very
little bit. I'll be
grateful
honest.
for
When you said that, I'm glad. I was like, wow, like that's not even me, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way.
that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Going back to your clients for a little bit, right? Mental and physical transformations, of course, fortunately aren't happen overnight, right?
Mhm.
How long do you find you're typically working with your clients for right now?
I would say at least a couple good number of years, like 2 to 3 years. I think it's important. Obviously, there's some on the lower side, there's some maybe on the further side. I think it's really important because I mean it's a longevity game, right? Like no pun intended with longevity because everyone's looking towards a longevity now. But I think it's something that I think we are in a world of instant gratification. We want things right away. If I can take a pill and lose 5 pounds or lose 10 pounds, right? If I can get a new phone at the drop of a hat, go to the store and pick it up, that ability to be patient and wait is harder and harder, especially when we go online and I want to go to Amazon and I can order something that gets delivered tonight versus, next week from a smaller business. I think it's harder. So that patience is there. And part of my mantra is be patient, right? We spend so much more time in the journey. If this is the start and this is the end, the instant we start and the instant we end, like that's quick, but the meat and potatoes are in that journey. And so getting people to understand that it is a process, it is a journey. And I have one client specifically, he's like, like it's gonna be a process. I know it's gonna be a time. Are you willing to invest like, time with me? I'm like 100%. Like I know this is
Mm.
not just gonna happen overnight. And I think when the client understands that and sees that, they're more they're going to enjoy the process more, but they're also going to be more invested for themselves. They're willing to put the work in because I can provide everything, but I can't make them eat, right? Like if I give you your macronutrients, I give you the workout plan, but if you're not eating or you're not logging or you're not doing the work, like I can only do you so much, right? I can lead that horse to the trough, but I can't make him drink. So for me, I think it's really important to see that value. And some people are like, oh, this is great. Like they want a quick fix. And I'm like, I can help you, but if you're not willing to see the value in that time that we're both pouring in, maybe there's a different fit for you.
Mm. When all we can see online now and that's being advertised in sports stadiums and everywhere is a shot that'll make us lose 30 pounds without having to do anything, that just amplifies what you said by a million,
Yeah.
right? But I
And
have to say, 1 to 2 years of client retention, that's the best I've ever heard from a fitness coach. So that's
oh,
tremendous.
really? Oh, well, that's
Tremendous.
good. I think again, it's I think it's important, and like I said, there's been some that are on the shorter side, some a little bit longer, but I think it's really important. I think people see that value, and again, I feel like there's trends within maybe specifically the U.S. Like certain things come up, CrossFit or High Rocks or Orange Theory, and like, hey man, like whatever is going to be your cup of tea, that's fine. I'd rather you go like walk around your parking lot or your neighborhood with shake weights than sit on your couch and eat bonbons. Like, don't get me wrong, sitting on the couch and the bonbons with your kids has a purpose, but daily activity and movement, it's like brushing your teeth, right? You don't think about it. You just do it every day. You don't wait till Saturday and brush your teeth for an hour. And if you do, like, that's cool, man. No judgment. Just like I'll talk to you on Saturday, you know? No judgment
Maybe a
there.
little bit of judgment there.
Yeah, but again, I think the most important thing is like, hey, let's be active, let's set the standard. And if you're struggling, because again, like I'm a type A individual, so I know like I want to go to the gym and I work out. There's people that are type C, type B. How do we get them to the gym? If you're struggling for yourself, maybe do it for your kids or your family, or do it for someone that maybe is going to have a direct impact from you. And again, I'm not saying it's easy, it's hard and difficult. And like to what you said earlier, it is very easy to go get a shot and like not do any work. And I think there was a time and space, or there's a place for those people that maybe like you're very overweight, you need some assistance, you need some help. Cool, awesome. If this will be helping you, great, by all means. At the same time, we also need to look at our protein intake. We should do some physical activity. We should, be aware of our stress and our time management. If you're sitting watching, Netflix for 5 hours versus going for a 30-minute walk. Priorities need to shift. We need to have a conversation.
Mm, yes, a lot of people need to have a conversation with Margot. That is for sure. I love it. Margot, let's look to the future a little bit. Let's say the next 1 to 2 years. Are there any goals you've set for yourself in the business you're looking to achieve?
Yes, I would love to be able to grow not only my individual remote clients that I have, but also larger. I would like to do some in-person like workshops and seminars. I'd like to be able to meet more in person. I personally love in-person events, whether it's a seminar, a workshop. I would love to be able to host that. I would love to do, I call it a Go Girl, off the play of my name, GAUX, but a Go Girl workshop or retreat. I've had some men say, "Hey, can I come? I'm not a girl." I'm like, "Yes, you can." But the goal will be able to have it where it's more inclusive, just not to fitness, right? So movement, mindset, but also maybe let's expand. Maybe you want to learn to ride a motorcycle, right? Maybe you want to learn how to, become a more proficient shooter or learn how to handle a firearm because you want to be able to protect your family. Maybe you want to put yourself in an environment where, you are learning something new. You want to do some survival, or hey, if I'm traveling and I get stuck in an environment and I don't have any resources, what does that look like? And so for myself, I want to push myself and introduce myself to new community members, but I also want to bring other people in and say, hey, like this is what I've learned. I'm not good at everything. I'm learning, but hopefully I can bring you all with me and we can all do this journey together. So I'd love to expand on that facet where I'm doing more in-person workshops, seminars, and educational pieces with that.
Mm.
I think I would like to be able to change the course of other people's lives in a positive way through health and fitness and mindset. And I think it can be. It's just like one bite at a time, one chip at a time.
Yeah, it's a slow process, like we talked about. It's a
It
slow
is.
process, but great goals to have. Couldn't think of any better ones myself. So I love it.
Oh,
Margot,
thank
pleasure having you on. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
Yeah, so if they go to my website, margoalvarez.com, just my full name, or I'm on social media on Twitter, X, and Instagram. It's 321GO, GAUX. And then I have my Just Go program where I do my online remote coaching, which is just GAUX. Obviously, them playing my name. And then like Facebook, TikTok, Margot Alvarez, all that, almost every platform, YouTube, LinkedIn.
She's everywhere. I love
Yeah,
it.
too
Pleasure
much.
having you on. Man, baby. Pleasure having you on, Margot. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of the Founders Feature. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Margot on all of those social media and her websites as well. All of those will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.